Hi there, Leo. I'm EllaAradia, and welcome to your August 2026 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Leo fire signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate for all of you, but what I do find is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Leo signs. So it may show up in different areas of your life in slightly different ways, but the theme is always the same. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, a quick thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoyed this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Leo, let's jump in. I always like to tune into the energies first, Leo, before I start pulling any cards. I'm a psychic reader, so I always like to see what the universe shows me. I'm already seeing lessons in standing in your power, standing in your truth. I feel an energy around you of questioning, of doubt, of criticism. It feels like an energy of adversity to me. And it feels like it's questions around your life path or something that you might be working towards, thinking about doing, something like that. And there's something I'm feeling around a need for validation on the outside or through others in some way. And to the point where it feels like this energy of questioning around you, this energy of adversity, however that's showing up, because it's always it's showing up in kind of different degrees, different intensities for all of you. However that's showing up, it's all a lesson in you validating your truth. So with your overall energies, we have Temperance. Often a card of healing, but also of, healing really is all about integrating our shadow sides, the old unhealthy patterns, negative limiting beliefs, the unhealed experiences from the past, which perhaps certain behaviors have come out of, or we have created certain beliefs about ourselves, about life. It's really about healing and resolving and really integrating, those experiences so that energy can then create, what you really do want in life. And that's the image on the card here. She's pouring liquid from one cup to another to create something new. And this is what I feel this month is about for many of you. I feel like it's about redefining, what self-worth is, what standing in your truth is, and not giving your power over to others or to a certain situation or to a certain thing. This is going to be about you validating yourself, but not in, an egotistical way. This is going to be more about simply standing in your truth this month, which is very powerful energy. Very, very powerful energy. Just simply standing in your truth and really trusting, I feel, your decisions moving forwards. What lies in your recent past, the Four of Cups, some kind of new offer, new opportunity, an offer of love. I feel like that's you right now, taking a little bit of time out, taking a little bit of a step back. The Four of Cups can sometimes represent, a stagnant feeling where we kind of feel a little bit stuck, stagnant, unfulfilled emotionally. And, it's so important to always listen to your truth, to your heart. What does the heart truly want? What is going to make you happy? As opposed to, I feel what other people, think is best for you, or what they think you should be doing here. And it feels to me like you've become a little bit disconnected, and there was a need to perhaps take a step back, take some time out, so that you can really get reconnected to yourself. There's a little bit of a disillusioned energy, but somehow, it's all part of you finding your way to your truth. That's what I feel. So it's all happening for a reason. I mean, the caution of this card is, not to get stuck there for too long, not to miss, the opportunities that might be coming in around you. Because this is something that's being offered. This is something in your recent past. With your current energies, we have the Lovers. So for some of you, this may be showing up in the love and relationships area of your life. For some of you, this is going to be about purpose. Because the Lovers, it used to be known as the choice. And it's usually a relationship choice. Or a choice which can, sometimes affect a relationship, but it's the kind of choice that is made, from a place of, your truth, your true values, what your heart really wants moving forwards. It's not about what other people think is best for you. I mean, it's great to get advice, and sometimes that can be helpful, but ultimately, it is about doing what's right for you and what's going to make you happy. And really being in alignment, with your truth here. I often find as well, this can relate to connecting to life purpose. Because it's something significant. This is the energy of soulmates, and it can represent connecting to a certain path, a certain career, which is absolutely in alignment with your heart. This is about you moving forwards, really putting your heart into something, into somebody. And what lies in the recent past is some kind of new offer of love or a creative opportunity for some of you. Your feelings towards your situation, the Star. This is the thing. This is what I was talking about. Let's just look at the challenge before I carry on speaking. So in the challenge is the High Priestess. And this often can represent in the challenge position, somebody that is holding back. Things which are being kept hidden. An inability to perhaps trust your sense of knowing moving forwards. This is a call to really trust your intuition. But it's in the challenge. And there's something about, I feel, embracing whatever this opportunity is for you. There is something about this involving, this is what I was going to say, these energies of the Star, which, when you look at the card, the figure on the card is naked, and it actually represents, not being afraid to be seen for who you truly are, your authentic self. And this is why I feel there's a lot of healing going on for you at the moment. It's almost like you're being, invited to step into a whole new version of yourself. It's about moving away from, let's say, people-pleasing or seeking validation from others. Whatever that gives you more of a sense of. The invitation now is to find that within yourself. Of course, we often need something to be mirrored back to us. Like sometimes we do need to have it mirrored back to us that we're loved, but also we need to find that for ourselves, because I feel like this is about you kind of redefining your self-worth this month. And that comes from an energy of standing in your truth, and who you are is enough, and who you truly are is worthy, is deserving. And that's going to relate, I feel, more to more for those of you that this relates more to the career area of your life, not being afraid to be who you truly are and express that in the world, particularly if it comes to life purpose, because that does often, require of us to really express, some of the deepest parts of our soul. It represents, getting in touch with your gifts, what you have to offer, and not being afraid to be out there sharing that with others. Because very often, life purpose also, has a collective part to that, something that you came here to do for the world. But in order to do that, it's going to involve you being seen and not being afraid to be vulnerable, and to trust your path, trust the direction that you're going in, trust your choices, trust what your heart is, the direction your heart's guiding you in, what your heart really wants here. And in the challenge, that is around not letting fear or insecurities hold you back. Because, somehow these energies around you of, it feels like friends or family members, people perhaps doubting, your path or a dream that you might have. Some of you may be walking a little bit of a controversial path. And sometimes that can trigger the people around us also. But I feel like a lot of this is about, through all of that confusion, it brings you to your truth. That's what I'm feeling here. And it may have served you to kind of keep this dynamic kind of going on here, because there's a fear there also. So there's a little bit of a conflict, there's a fear to really step out, to be seen, to share what you have to give. And so it feels to me like this might have been going on for some time. What lies in the hidden influence is the Empress. Some kind of new beginning. This is a rebirth. And, this is a rebirth inside of yourself. This is about you stepping in to a new version of yourself, letting go of, any old versions which held you back, limited you, because I definitely feel, it's time to shine your light, and it is time to, start moving towards what you really want in life. So the Empress is, it's all about fertility. It's all about birth and rebirth. And for those of you that this relates to love, this is, a cup of love, which I feel has recently, a person that's recently come into your life, something that's recently been offered. And it may be, unhealed experiences from the past is holding you back a little bit. It's a little bit of fear. But there's something about, the person that you're connecting with here that to me feels like a soulmate. But, soulmates can come into our lives for a lot of different reasons. It's not always this amazing love story. Sometimes they can come into our lives to really shake things up. But with this connection, I feel like there's some healing involved in this. I feel like this has, you know, a lot of potential, but it's a healthy love. It's not your comfort zone. It's a healthy love that I'm feeling here. Someone who knows what they want. You know, they're ready. They're ready for commitment. They're ready to love you back the way you love them. And I feel like they are, you know, just sort of orbiting you a little bit at the moment, because I feel like there's a little bit of fear because, you know, with these soulmate energies, you know, that there very often is like this big potential for something beautiful and real. But it always involves, you know, both sides have to be able to step up to that. And to step up to that often involves healing and growing, working through any fears and insecurities around perhaps not being enough in some way. Because with the energies of the star here, this is also about being vulnerable and allowing yourself to be seen and knowing that who you are is enough. You know, nobody's perfect. No one is perfect. And who you are is enough. It doesn't mean we can't, you know, grow and become better people. But there is a fear here around opening up and allowing yourself to be seen, which, you know, this is something, you know, that you will need to do, I feel, to really be able to meet this person where they are wanting to meet you. And it's going to involve letting go of old versions of yourself and fears and insecurities, and having the courage to open up. Sometimes, you know, comfort zone is easier. You know, it doesn't require that we grow. It's, you know, it's a comfort zone. And I feel the universe has brought somebody else in for you. And this is a powerful connection. And this is an invitation for something different. This isn't someone who's part of that old kind of repeating pattern of, you know, whatever that comfort zone represents to you. This is something different. And I do feel a lot of fear. But it's very important, I feel, to recognize that this connection is something different from, you know, what you've experienced in your past. But it's going to require, you know, shifting through some of these fears and taking a little bit of a leap of faith. Let's get your advice. So the advice from the universe is the Page of Wands. This is all about following your heart, taking a step, and really just trusting, I feel, in what your heart is telling you here. You know, this is an energy of passion, of inspiration, and, you know, there is some kind of action that the universe is, I feel, trying to nudge you towards right now. So some kind of action that needs to be taken, a choice that needs to be made here, and one that, you know, really does need to come from a place of truth. I would sit quietly. I would just make sure you don't get stuck here too long, you know, but take some time to, I feel, really sit quietly and connect to your heart. And ask some questions, you know, ask whatever questions you need to ask, because the answers are all in there. But you need to go into this, you know, being absolutely brutally honest with what your heart is communicating to you. And having the courage, I think, first of all, to just do that. And then I think the rest will just come really easily for you. In your outcome, I love that. Look at that. The Ten of Cups. Dreams come true, wishes granted, happily ever after. You know, this represents that long-term emotional stability, emotional contentment. And, whether this is life purpose, a job, a career, whether this is, relating to love and this person that I'm feeling around you right now, whatever that is, it is going to lead you to that long-term fulfillment and happiness. That is what the energies of the Ten of Cups is all about. This is water energy. This is love. And this is going to bring, I feel, what your heart really wants, that fulfillment that your heart, that love that your heart is really, really looking for. So Leo, I'm going to leave that there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, and I wish you a great month ahead.